First of all, we've got, like the EIS, we've got a few concerns over the cuts to the deputation time. We feel that's perhaps an attack on democracy, and cutting it is quite symbolic of the cuts that are being made by this chamber. We hope that you will use that time well, though, in order to produce a far better budget than is there right now. Second point, Graeme will come into more detail. Second point I want to make is related to our sartorial elegance today. We are representatives of Edinburgh Council workers, and today we're representing perhaps what is the future of Edinburgh Council workers. We are dressed in rags. Our PPE is becoming more ragged, but we are still philanthropic because we are still providing services under duress, stressed out. We are providing the services to our citizens. The next point I want to make is that we call on this council to make a no-cuts budget. Do not cut anything. In fact, increase. We also call on this council and all councillors and all parties to join us to campaign for better funding from both governments, and that will enable our city to thrive. And one final point I want to make before I let Graeme in is that the no compulsory redundancy pledge needs to stay. There is a red line there, and I do stress red. Thank you.
Thanks. So I want to start on a positive, given there's very little positive in today's budget, and thank the administration for the papers we've seen continued to ensure trade union engagement. We need this to continue. We need this to get better. We've heard deputations raising the issue. We need to consult with experts, but for us, the experts are the workers on the front ground. So it's vital that we remember the knowledge of frontline workers is crucial in identifying wastage and potential improvements. Because while council officers will see efficiencies in the form of cuts, like the worrying proposal to axe education welfare officers, council workers can identify small tweaks to processes and the resources that are lying dormant that they see every day at work. We're keen to engage with management and elected members to look at these genuine efficiencies that give council workers their valuable voice. We need to be insourcing services. We need to be much better than we currently are. The council can make key savings by stopping lining the pockets of private sector providers and employment agencies, ensuring money is kept in the local economy and used to generate tax revenue and create quality jobs instead of being lost to offshore bank accounts. Bringing services in-house allows for greater accountability, with a workforce working towards a common good, more philanthropists, rather than a slew of disinterested contractors. One objection we keep hearing is that to in-house and reduce agency spend, there's problems with recruitment. So, this is a symptom of too long undervaluing essential workers. The council is reaping what it's sowed with a job evaluation scheme is not fit for purpose. Whether that's the comparatively poor salaries of house and property operatives and social workers, or the chronic undervaluing of roles such as pupil support assistants and social care assistants. We need to overhaul the job evaluation scheme immediately to create fairly rewarded jobs that makes the council an employer of choice in Edinburgh and reduce the amount of money frittered away to agencies and contractors. One example is proposal PL6, which is a positive move for dealing with homelessness, but in order to do that successfully, it means investing in the in-house voids team to turn those properties around. Secondly, on in-housing, we need to bring digital services in-house. The CGI contract is too long in the tooth to cite teething problems. The problems haven't gone away, but what we are seeing go away is highly skilled graduates that come to this city to learn cutting-edge technologies. We need to retain these here. There's no lack of potential council workers here. There is no recruitment issues when we're talking about digital technologies. We can create quality jobs that take advantage of the city's status as a hub for learning, that provides digital solutions that suit our services and citizens, not those that are foisted upon them by those looking for a sale. Local government needs funding. The gap identified is at least £61 million short of the true gap, as if you think council workers are going to accept a 3% pay rise, you've got another thing coming. So, my call to elected members and council officers today is, work with us to look at ways of working that ensure workers' voices are heard, that result in true efficiencies, not cuts, and stand with us in demanding proper funding from the Scottish Government and rejecting further austerity and cuts. Thank you.
My questions to Graeme or Brian. You mentioned the millions, hundreds of millions, and tonight, sorry, to the hundreds of millions of pounds that's paid out on contractors, and also you mentioned the job evaluation scheme. I wonder if you just tell us a bit more about what you would like to see the council do in terms of changing that relationship with contractors and really looking at the job evaluation scheme.
Thank you, Councillor Day. So, the amount of money that's frittered away in contractors needs to be. We need to see services brought in house. We need to explore every avenue for doing this. We need to look at potentially whether it's direct labour organisations, council staff in house. We're seeing money going through the spend to save. Spend to save is something that we could use to bring services in house, because that money will eventually recuperate itself. One prime example we're seeing across the city at the minute is the amount of black mould and damp in houses. Now, there was a business case previously produced that said in-housing of the service could save about £1 million. I don't see this present in today's budget, but given the extent of this problem, this is one area we need to look at. There are quick wins to be had with regards to in-housing. So, for example, the council's adaptation service, it's a small handful of tradesmen. Bringing this is just to basically show the direction of travel in earnest, because although we have heard the administration's dedication to bringing services in-house, we need to see action. This is something that would reassure the council staff who have been beleaguered, who have all too often seen jobs go out. So something symbolic to bring that in, show that we're sincerely moving that way, would be excellent. With regards to the job evaluation scheme, the current job evaluation scheme is 23 years old. It predates Google, it predates Facebook. Technology is now a vital part of our lives, so technological skills need to be recognised. But crucially, what needs to be recognised is the social value of council jobs and what this brings to our communities. We constantly talk about redressing the gender pay gap. Now, when you look at the social value of female-dominated workforces, if we had a job evaluation scheme that actually rewarded that, the gender pay gap would be flattened instantly. So we need to see a job evaluation scheme that looks at what our workers bring to the city. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Mr. Smith and Mr. Robertson. It's a follow-on, actually, from the question from the council leader. What I'd like you to set out for us is what would be the immediate steps, the immediate and necessary steps that council ought to be taking in order to get on and address the various points that you kindly raised in the deputation about, you know, the job evaluation. I mean, I remember the original job evaluation scheme, it's that long ago, but all the things that you talked about, the digitisation, the increasing the insourcing, all of that, immediate necessary steps that we can quickly get on with as an administration, as councillors and with management and yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Guinness. A few things that need to be done. Sorry, Cabot's ass. Lezley, I know. Firstly, with regards to in-housing and the problems with recruitment, the first thing that needs done urgently is re-evaluation of housing operative roles. So when I was talking about the importance of including digital technology in the job evaluation scheme, it's because what we're seeing more often is staff having to learn to use digital technology, and it's a fair learning curve for a lot of people, and they're not rewarded anymore having done so. For example, housing property operatives now have digital technology that tracks them as they go about their days. They are now also expected to do sort of social care aspects, sort of report on different things they see in the houses. So an immediate re-evaluation of their roles to make sure we're actually paying them at the correct grade will then allow us to redress the very poor salaries they have. There's been a benchmarking exercise that's taken place that's looking at what trade staff are paid across Scotland in both the public sector and private sector, and Edinburgh Council is right at the bottom there. So if we're able to evaluate their jobs and make sure they're paid at the correct grade, that will help resolve some of the recruitment issues, which will help bring some things in-house. The job evaluation scheme needs overhauled. We would like to see a working group set up on this. There was previously talks with regards to what's called pay and benefits that were shelved, I think 2 years ago now. So we would like to see them started up. With regards to how we tackle digital technology, the fact that our digital solutions sit over here and our services sit over here is anathema. We need to have our digital solutions working together with our services hand in hand, like we do with the comms team, for example, because we need to make sure that they fully understand the service that they're proposing the solution for. They're not just taking something off the shelf that you think we can get a good wee sale if we can somehow shoehorn a council service into this, which is what we're seeing all too often at the minute.
If I may, just very quickly. Part of the job evaluation part, I really do believe, and we've been on this for quite some time, that we do not value the caring work that local government workers do. And that's not just carers, it's pupil support assistants, it's the whole shebang. We are caring workers, and we need to look at, and if you think about it, the most caring of the workers are the least paid. They're the least valued, and we need to get into something with job evaluation. That's where a working group needs to focus on how do we reward that caring element of local government work. Thank you.
Well, thanks.